It's the next morning. I'm not all the way home on this matter of integration. I have a little bit more to mix together. And the closest thing I can think of is an organic metaphor that I'd rather not delve into. But I'm merging with myself. It's not gross. It's clickier than it isn't. But at the same time, it's also more like mix it in like batter. So there's still some parts of me that are a little less connected between the two. Some pieces of my, at least I care about my fucked up hair. I'm almost done integrating. And I've always been on this weird rush schedule. You know, like, damn it, I gotta get there by blah, blah, blah. Holy crap, I'm getting old. Holy crap, I'm losing it. Holy crap, I'm totally never gonna be what I used to be. And then whatever, I'm like, well, I don't care, I'm just gonna keep pushing anyway and I'll get closer. And who knows what I did before. Must have done something smart, so I'll keep it moving. It's the most I had sometimes. I would get really dumb. Ow, ooh, whoa. My old trick left knee just popped out knee. Nothing to do with this integration, I don't think. But then again, psychosomatic stuff, right? You can totally control all of that when you know what you're talking about. God damn it, how do I, okay, I'm trying to get a video so I can relax. I don't think about how to do stuff, I just do it. Because I've read it and I've seen how it's done, sort of like in Heroes, I guess, with the people who could watch someone do something and then do it. It's like that with me because I have enough of a physical model that I can kinesthetically feel what they're doing while I'm watching. And I know what it felt like muscle by muscle. Whatever, believe me or no, doesn't really fucking matter because I'm not looking to be like a conqueror, weird bastard who tells people how to live their life. I'm just about like telling people that they can live a lot better if they had these assholes off their necks. Because I could keep them off my neck by pretending to be one type of guy. Oh, I'm only this. Don't worry about me. I have no clue what you're doing. I don't understand what you just did. I suck at math. No, don't worry about me. I suck at math. Just do your thing and I'll just draw. Meanwhile, I'm looking. Peripheral vision. I can get a full, decent picture. Not all at once. Just like normal, what people describe as peripheral vision, where you don't notice that you notice. But it's still there. And it's still recompilable, especially if you've looked over that area with full detail before. I can Photoshop my own mind, but not to deceive. I don't want to. I could, but I don't. The only thing I did was separate my parts. Very much against lying. Like, it's a sign of moral weakness to me when someone actively lies. But then that also means that they're less culpable because they're more childlike. That's my whole morality on lying. If someone lies to me to my face, I'm like, oh, that's cute. And I'm like, okay, I see what you're saying, so we have to make sure that we... And then I role play with them. That's what I used to do with Dad. When he told me that he was going to take care of stuff. And yeah, we had the Christmas shit, really. One time he told me it wasn't Thanksgiving because he couldn't afford to buy a turkey, so we had hot dogs. I was like, is that what we're doing today, Dad? Is that the game we're playing? That's why I'm so into games. Because most people are good even if they're playing a game. That's a big deal moment for me that I won't let myself feel. Because the part of me that integrates doesn't cry. This one here has never integrated before. It was the one helping me figure out how to put it, stack it, so it would stand up my mind, and blah, blah, blah. But he doesn't want to feel a lot of emotion right now openly. He's very shy and prone to shame for having taken this long to get me healthy, but more because he wouldn't allow it, because I wouldn't allow it either. My heart is the part you're talking to when I'm in a good emotional place. I'm being friendly and saying, hey man, I've been there, believe me. And people don't want to believe you. I mean, I'm not even going to make the stupid joke that I attempted to find about having been to a weird place emotionally, saying, oh, I know what it's like to be a woman who, like, you know, like, I don't. I do not. I'm not living in anyone else's space. I'm sitting in my space, but my space is now a piece that moves just like everyone else's, right? Starts with a space, where do you live? And then coordinates, you get it to the point where you have vectors you can describe a translation, where you have movement. You're talking even in a computer program, that makes perfect sense of how that proceeds. So I went a little nerdy to duck under the joke that didn't appear, and then the sadness I still saw. I'm moving in my mind through a weird landscape metaphor, and I know it looks perfectly cool and dramatic, but I'm not acting. And here's a nice little like tweak they do in video. Like if you watch a movie and the guy's like telling you this kind of story, he's like, and it's like that right little punctuation on that moment, which is true. These are facial expressions. These are things, and actors, especially method actors, which I'm not. I'm more of a character actor. If I act, you know, I prefer character, but comedians, I'm a comedian, I hope, but I'm not a bad guy, despite my mom putting these, well, she put the tattoos on me with the tattoos. I'll get to you later. I can't even twist that way, and I'm glad that I didn't. I mean, I make stupid moves because sometimes it gives you a new doorway. Not because I chose every time to make the stupid move and be like, I'm going to get that right. I'm just like, I don't care enough to dedicate that cycle power on mapping that real quick in my mind. So I just jump, and I say, there's something else over there too. And I make a stumble, stupid mistake, or whatever. I'm human. Everyone's human, and like I said, depending on how you feel, you have a good day or a bad day. I mean, stupid ideas are stupid ideas, no matter who's having them. I've told people when they've seen how smart I was and I was feeling nervous that they were, like, scared that I was trying to fuck them over somehow. Because, God damn it, I would have. Not you right before I met you, but, like, people. I'll tell you more in a minute, and if I remember, because I won't be there. I move in my mind like a monkey, swinging from monkey bar to monkey bar, and then maybe I turn into a dolphin, I swim, and then I fly, and I use these transportation metaphors in my mind. Teleportation doesn't really happen. In my mind, anyway. It's plausible. I don't know the physics because I'm a dabbler. I'm a B student at just about any damn mental pursuit. Physically, no. I'm a D-lister in terms of like helping get the yard cleaned up when we're all doing it. But if I'm in charge of the planning, I'm fine. And I'll do more too. So it's like I do the D-lister and then I'm planning too. So I felt like I did enough. But Janelle, my wife, is very much a better planner. And she's like, well, your plan's a little sketchy. I'm like, yeah, I know. But it describes by scribbling in a lot of ways. So you change the metaphor over to how I think. People are going to be curious, and I feel weird and awkward telling people how I think. It's like I'm being a show-off. I'm not. It's just what I have. If you can lift 300 pounds and I can't, I'm going to be like, dude, man, fucking A, you're awesome at that. And I'm awesome at this, only this. People think, oh, mental must be everything. Well, who told you that? An idiot. It doesn't get you anywhere. In Hebrew, Kabbalah, the Lurianic Kabbalah that I studied with the letters, where they really focus in on those letters, like I did when I was a kid, and I taught myself to read phonetically based on having heard the alphabet and seen the letters. I mean, and then I watched Sesame Street. But the main way I did was like, Mom, how do you spell A? She's like, A. I was like, oh, yeah. But in Lurianic Kabbalah, I have two things now to remember. I have to remember that way back there I dropped something. So right here in Lurianic Kabbalah, the letter He, it means window. The window that expresses thought, speech, and action. Now that window is like which part of the problem? Sure. But also everything else it can mean. What I'd like to explore for a minute is which part of the problem are you addressing at a situational level? Thought-wise, no one knows. It's just you. How could there be a thought crime unless someone's reading what you're writing? And then I do sometimes when I'm joking around, because I like to joke with people to keep this lighter than it fucking is. I'd be like, I know good timing, but I also know that sometimes when you fudge it and you just dump a bit of something, it works out more fun. Is that profound? If you played in slow-mo, it would be. I'm a math guy. I was some people I sucked at math, and I got the minimum passing grade in math. I'm not an incremental math guy, though, because I think it's dumb. This counting thing. We know how many apples we have. We need to. And a bird can tell how many children she has just by glancing. She doesn't have a number there. It's just not like, that's called a number 1. This little ducky is called a number 8. But that doesn't make sense because there's only 2 of them. And it's like infinity. Ooh! We're back to my math. Limits. Calculus. Lambda calculus, any type, really. But I have a really cool calculus you can teach to preschoolers. Ish. I mean, precocious preschoolers, but the thing is, everyone should be a little precocious. And who conditioned us via these so-called hypnotic effects that are slowly being worn away from our knowledge? God, when I was in the 80s and 90s, everyone was like, yeah, well, hypnosis does work, but it doesn't quite work like that. That was where they were in the narrative. They were degrading. And nowadays, they're like, oh, no, hypnosis, please. And yet, Facebook. Reading every single thing we do. Every time we almost type and we delete. Everything we fucking do becomes part of a pattern. A sketchy pattern, much like mine, but more triangular. Mine's more like, get it over with. But also, yeah, precisely make sure you hit all the pieces. And don't, like me, leave too big of a gap. If you do, make sure to go quickly over it again. And I'm left-handed, but that right hand makes sense because that was the ace's part, sort of. Hesed, in Hebrew, the right arm. Because he was the one who needed to be good for himself. And also because if he didn't, God, the smart guy would kill somebody in 14 steps. And yeah, I didn't do that. I did deal with a guy who had raped people, but it wasn't quite the same thing. I fucking hate it. I'm sorry, guys. This hurts. I don't want to be this guy. I want to be the guy who's sitting there with a video camera in front of him while he's doing something. But I'm actually procrastinating, just like everybody. We look at our phones and we pretend we don't just enjoy the hypnosis. It's become a drug and they put little bits in it. Oh, sexy time feel. And here's a little hashtag Instagram. This is a drama. I'm not trying to act. I feel like I'm watching myself because I'm watching myself watch myself. It's like that all day. Except I don't really leave my position. I was the guy sitting in the back projecting. I never cried. I never talked after a certain point. I'm not faking it, I'm not acting it, I'm not reading a script, I'm just staring at the picture and saying, why do I look so ugly? I made my face look good compared to how it did. You use a muscle a little more, just like Bruce Lee. You can shape your own face. That's the physics of it. But all is mind too. So if you get those connected real nice, you can do quite a bit. But let's just talk physical, obvious, and maybe mental. That's plausible, right? Well, what if power is entirely arbitrary of a choice? Wouldn't it be? I could tell you for about 3 days to get there for a year, but let's just jump to the chase. I actually walk my way home all the time. People don't understand where I'm going, but I'm totally using secret tunnels in the situation. People have these little hidden trap doors for themselves. Because most people don't build like I do. They don't make the various mutable structures that all match so that they have something in any given situation. Like if you're socially, a woman is being weird with you, you have an emotional charge there to pick up in that room. And I can use that emotional bit to fight that. monster of me. How do I fuck that up? Well, not if I have this emotional bit of, hey, I don't understand, baby. But it's true. It's my actual shit. I'm not faking. I'm not manipulating. I'm not a sociopath. Give me a second. I'm going to blow my nose. I'll be off camera. I'm not going to cut it because I'm not editing these fucking things. And I sound like I'm acting because what am I doing but projecting? My whole life. And so, I actually leave a little bit in there. A little squeeze sliver of the piece. At least I never worked it out. Because I'm like, if I leave that sliver there, where I feel like people think I'm acting and crazy and just an idiot, I will be left alone to process. But also, hey, on the other side of the coin, which I don't really give a shit about because I'm looking right at this card here that'll help me not die and also maybe help people. This little card here, I see this piece. This shows me this face right here. Fuck no. There's something on the other side, and I know it's pretty much this, if you think about it. It's, on the other side is some sort of emotional bit he needs. But it's alright because we're on the same mission. So every fucking angle I try to see, I just learn about. And then, where'd that come from? Why is power arbitrary? Do I ramble? I'm looping around. Fuck you. And here's my eyes. Look at these fucking eyes, man. Intense. I'm starting to look okay. I look like my cousin Richie's eyes for a minute. Because I love my cousin Richie's eyes. And I'm like, oh, is that spooky? Oh, fuck yeah. If people saw it the way I see it, even not in reflection, but kinesthetically I feel that I'm doing it, and it's there. My cousin Richie's eyes were there. But I'm looking at myself, and I'm like, hey, I'm not too bad looking these days. But my wife is beautiful, so I'm gonna. And I don't have diabetes anymore because I chose not to. How does that work? Well, you know, type 2 diabetes people have, you know, historically there have been a couple of these stories that they let slide about how they recovered. Such a weird miracle. Oh, and that one guy was immune to AIDS for 5 minutes and we never heard about him again. Oh, by the way, that guy doesn't have AIDS, so if you ever see anyone who had AIDS and doesn't, don't worry. What? Oh, God. Exactly. What? The world is layered and cut apart in certain ways that have been decided upon by, say, certain families. And I'm not talking like, I don't know about that Bilderberg and all the crazy nonsense. I'm talking like more practical types, at least, right? There's people who want money power. What's money? Whew. It's backed by human free will. Let's leave it there and say also that it's 1/22nd of a human soul. One greenback. Green light, central to the visible light spectrum, and therefore indicative of the entire, correct. We have visible light spectrum that we all see. We're humans. Let's use that metaphor because any full spectrum can cover any damn thing, so why do we mix it up so damn much? Well, different people see things differently, and some people are musical. Some people are factual. Some people are different in other ways. I'm more of an athletic guy. If I can run, I'll pass my calculus test. If I can do my track and field, I'll see exactly the math. Like I can show you those cool propaganda videos that we all put out together via psychic writer rooms when we write them. Psychic? Whoa, that's dumb. No one believes in psychic shit anymore. Yeah, they have Wi-Fi here. And no, there's no visible thing. It's more like a pilot, wavy thing. It leads the light. What's the light? Everyone says light. Visible light spectrum. Green. Central. Greenback. Backed by green. Okay. Well, we all know about the the loof paths, left-handed. But they're talking fuel. Loof, fuel. If we were infinitely righteous in anything we wanted to do, we didn't want to hurt people. We're not going to go into weird omnipotencies because I don't believe anyone should have all of them. Or any of them. You know what I mean? Like all of one. They should have a portion, i.e. a finite amount that they can choose to use any way they should. It's a weird video. And hey, slow it down then. Pause it. I'm not going to make a bunch of these that are all uniquely... I don't start and stop like that. I'm moving too fast. I can do anything. Except physical shit. For now. I'm not a telekinesis believer. Not because I don't think it exists, but because I don't know how to do it. But it has to happen. I've never seen it really. Magnetism, sure. Paramagnetism, lens effect, and all the shit's pretty cool shit. So now what is the energy that moves the energy? And we see things like the Scheuer drive working despite all frustrations of the establishment. Yeah, well, it's never going to work, but holy shit, it's working. But, oh my God, it's a piece of shit if you really think about it. There's a lot of assholes out there who want to know something, just their little slice of reality, and say, hey, like, we're going to get this thing. You know, this one guy, not me, but the guy on there, he's kind of a dick. I think we should overthrow him. All we got to do is get the science right. And we're surely going to be able to nuke God's butthole. I don't know about all the God stuff. Because I was always one like, hey man, I'm not worshiping you over this shit that happened to me, but can you talk to me? This is fucked up. Doesn't talk. But he has a silent voice. Pilot wave. Even if it's a round pilot wave. They don't have to be lines, guys. Geometry is very useful in understanding different perceptual matrices. So this video here is a big old, a lot of things, and I'm sure you'll sit there and rewind and be like, what does he really mean in this one section? If I really could extrapolate what he meant, maybe and then you stop. You should have stopped before you started, by the way, because I'm telling you the whole thing each time. The core part is what matters, the nugget you're using to process. Is it your head or your heart? Well, obviously, emotions are valuable, and yet they're a liability. Clearly, right? So map it. We got your valuable in the center, at least, or at least in the one spot. I'll put in the center just easy for you. The valuable part goes in the center, and then on the end of that, you have the liability aspect. That's a negative. So why don't we put it on the negative aspect of that number line? Negative. The liability, that's all I know because I'm a negative person. I think negatively. So emotions are very helpful when they make you feel good. And they're a liability when they make you embarrassed or something. That's a negative. Well, okay, so we have a null and a negative. What do we do? Well, why is it null, one would say? Because if it isn't, you won't be able to get anywhere. Nope. I'm fucking wise and shit. I'm a wise guy. I'm funny, and fuck you. If it's weird, I say to myself, and you, that one guy, was like, fuck this guy. Try. Won't happen again. Yeah. Fuck you, guy. See, Grandpa? Anyway, whoever your relative is, fuck him. Either way, it doesn't have to be always that same thing, but I love you when you do it the right way. You show me just enough of, nah, because you're like, please. I can get that. You and I are the same. We wear the masks. Back in the null land, where the ultimate greatness of emotion, maybe you haven't felt that amazing, like, swelling of the heart. Oh my God, beauty. But you might have felt like, wow, that was an amazing day at that picnic with the wedding and my wife. It was beautiful. That's cool. Start with that as your null. You want to get closer to that crazy, right, at least? And there's a certain attenuation tenebrous, shadowy. Mistake, but a mistake because of territory. I picked up the wrong thing. And I am weird in this one ego issue. I like that I studied Lorena Kabbalah. I couldn't really do the whole no ego thing because I'm like, well then if I don't have an ego, what will I play with? True. I mean, I knew I had an ego down, but I was never showing people. Not covert narcissist, goddamn you. Just covert. People say covert narcissist all the time. There are plenty. For real. But there's a lot of this labeling that people throw around and say, you're this. Here's your jersey. Make sure you never fucking take it off. These are techniques people use even just on a normal social level. High school. Like work. Same deal, right? Oh, Janet said that Lois slept with Larry. Did you hear about all that? Oh my God, can you imagine Lois with her... And Larry with his tiny little... These are structures we build socially. Now we can also build structures mentally because thought, speech, action. So if we can do it in speech, certainly do it in thought, and way better if you have a good visualization method, even kinesthetic, like feeling how it feels in your hand, the weight of it, mass, any senses you can employ, even scent, which I can never really get, but occasionally I'll smell my dad's cologne nearby or something, out of nowhere. Intentional synthesis, it's a little far. Intentional synesthesia can really get us, it's not synesthesia though, it's not thought broadcasting either. These psychological terms are now becoming almost a double speak, and a triple speak actually, because they know it's balanced ternary, and they want to keep us in a binary mode. No joke, and like, yeah, I'll nod to all the conspiracy guys, but not too hard because I want the rest of them to hear it. That's how I am, I think. I know the lay of the land, and I like to tell people I have an average intelligence. I'm just a speedster. Well, maybe no. I think everyone has an average intelligence because it's arbitrary how powerful you get, because empathy is the winning strategy in all cases. Works at social level speech. If you're empathetic, people like you more. If you're the negative Nancy, then all you get to do is say, I told you so, and get your ass kicked. Obviously, it's a losing strategy, pessimism. If you're going to be arbitrarily wrong, be optimistic, I told myself. Because they'll love you. And you'll always have people around you, and you're autistic, and you need that. I didn't say the longer part. So we moved to Salt Lake City, my ex-wife and I. And these are Mormons. And I thought they were different. I hadn't really studied them other than the fact that they were basically Scientology in the 1800s, which is pretty sweet. Because history does like to repeat itself. It really does, because they're playbooks a lot of times among the people who are at this talkie level, at least, of the black, dark room with the cigars and the, you know, I don't know, something crawling between the legs of the people and robes and whatever the hell sexy crap they try, but it's like really just fucking worms. So if it can be a mental construct, it could at least be a palace of memory as per Islam. At least. By yourself, you can walk that palace of memory all day. Now, we have action. Action is doing something. We're wondering like, oh yeah, okay, so you have your palace of memory, can you get someone else over there? Based on contemporary propaganda, no, say. Or maybe not. Just please keep it, maybe not. Keep it in the null area. The minimum acceptable is the null. Call it a null, but I call it love. But null is good enough because most people who like math don't want to talk about love as a math. Emotional math. My big funny thing, I thought. Funny is not necessarily wrong. Ever. And as many ways as you can see it at once, the better you understand it. So we're going to go back to physical and just go say, hey, in action, as in speech, you can build structures. So in thought, you can also build a structure. So we got one data point of like, that's a full tower. Second tower, I gotta build. I gotta think for a minute. Because I'm not like infinitely right. I just know the lay of the land, how to get there. So that means I'm not that threatening to think about it. I'm just a guide. Not to your mind, but like around. If we're around, I'll be like, hey dude, could we do this? And you're like, that's a crazy, bombastically dumb idea. It might work if we were all perfect. That's what I'm saying in my heart. But they're like, no, it'll never work. Because they know I'm not perfect. It's mutual. You read one side of a story, you only hear one side of the story. Read both. Even if it takes a minute. On the nose, we used to say. Wow, so here we are back in pillar 2. Physical. Spooky actions at a distance exist. They do. And they keep saying, oh, we can never send data. We can never send data via quantum entanglement. Oh no. That would be so droll. They'd fuck it up, they say. Nah, I don't think we should tell them that, because they'd fuck that up real hard. In other words, we wouldn't have full control until we fully liberate them. Facebook. I use that as a middle ground. Generic, because we call out the ones we love. Now, Zuck's a little trickster, but I like Zuck. I haven't talked to him in the conscious realms. You can have a great conversation with someone when they don't realize that they're limited. They know what's up when you talk to them in their subconscious or their dreams. They do. They're the full person. And then they remember later, oh, I forgot half my dream. No, they didn't. That's just the limited amount they allow themselves to know in daily life in case it gets caught. There's an underground, under the subconscious. It's just a pile of debris floating in the ocean in one of those little pools. All the layer between us and our full selves. Under there, we're complete. Subconscious in Judaism, they call it the superconscious. Because once you remove all the trash, it's floating at the surface, all the lies people tell you about yourself. Like, oh, you're just a good dentist. Really? Come see me. Do house call. No, I'm just kidding. It's just like, okay, they give you labels, and those labels float in the middle at a libration point in the center where your null should be. Metaphor. Picture a forming solar system with like, it's just so dusty and occluded. But somehow that there's enough there that if they try to put out the sun, it can't happen. You go a few parsecs out, do a Kessel Run or something on the way there. It's fun. You end up looking at what appears to be a blank blackness because the star's so occluded by the shit floating around. You see the pictures? You see the bug back there? I just saw it. I'm like, dude, that's a buggy bug. That's like Jiminy Cricket kind of mantis, dude. It's like Jack the Knife version of a praying mantis with a couple of antennas for no reason. So I had the weird bug dream that they send out. Like all sorts of menageries of weird bugs. Bug's life. They say in the media, because there's all different factions and we all work together. Oh God, do we work together. We have a hierarchy and it's so beautiful, our military. Because I joined every cause I found, if I could. If I could morally say, I don't think that leads bad. Like, in other words, we're not going downhill on that one for me. I'll do it. I'll tell whatever I can tell, and if I can jump in, I'll jump in. And eventually it became part of a bigger thing, for real. Crazy. So that'll be pillar, like, 8. Fuck that for a minute. Because that's too crazy, but we still built it. Don't throw it away. Why crumple it up and throw it in the trash? It's there. That's a fact we're getting to. That's in Bina. I build structures and I lay it down. And I'm very intelligent. And I'm very weird. And I'm Satoshi Nakamoto, but that's one of the least interesting parts of my life. Thing is, I didn't know a lot of that. I was giving myself a few cards every day. Like, God, what a cool dream you had last night. Is that nuts? Is that self-aggrandizing? Of course they say that. And yes, it is. Don't look, they lie to you all day. What they do, though, is if they allow you a positive take that would help you learn and grow, they have to measure and temper it. Like, yeah, but that's a story for another day. That's how they end those stories when they try to move you off the course. They're like, yeah, but wouldn't that be a cool dream? Remember, this stuff isn't real. It's just your dreams. Dreams are so weird, aren't they? Yet, the Loranic Kabbalah, which I love, I'm not saying I'm religious. I'm not. I would rather be equal below, you know, like in stature and status. I'd be like, hey man, can I stand next to you and ask you a question? And maybe tell you what I saw? Because you're still standing right there, and I'm still standing here, so at least I can climb the tree and tell you what's up there from here. Because you're walking in the garden with us. A lot of things in there, but they do dream interpretation really nicely. Not Jungian or Freudian. That's sort of like Neo-Judaism. It's kind of messed up if you think about it. Not saying Judaism. I use the broad term sometimes for the specific. So we're in the box of Neo-Judaism. Inside the box. Not a Venn diagram. In this case, I don't do a lot of Venn diagrams. It's kind of weird for me that that's so reasonable, and yet I won't do it. Not in my structure, because I start cutting in, and unless I have to make a certain type of build, maybe. But it's like a very rare tool of a Venn diagram. I use nested and looped and recursive. A lot of recursive. So in this one room of Neo-Judaism, there is a door. Say, there's a bunch of doors, but this one door is Kabbalah, which is sort of, oh god, I have to prop myself up more in my elbow. Like, not my elbow, my shoulder is tense because I'm tired. So yeah, it was basically, and don't take my word for it, damn you, trust and verify, not but. It seems like a little occlusion. Just in case, they say. And there's one guy we used to call just in case in the war. He was always that one guy, and we'd do a nerdy impression. Particular Justin I knew, by the way. But the joke was just in case among my little crew. Because we had crews, and we'd do things, keep people safe at night. Yeah, bye. I'm pausing. I'm like, I want to remember and feel that. And yet, here I am looking like a douche. All true at the same time. Everything's always true at the same time. So in that Neo-Judaism box is the fact that they had a proto-psychology. I thought it was a proto-psychology. It's a more pure psychology, as long as you know that each handle, each box they call God, can be any part of your ultimate mission. We call what's beyond us the Ba'an, because there's a little apostrophe, a little yud, which is a little y. And that y is so far away when you're actually trying to help that it's not the main question anymore. Why does this exist? Mostly because we said so. Big, long video, 38 minutes. I could do an hour one day.